Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today we are going to do our first flight with the Cirrus Vision Jet of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We're going to depart Bern, the semi-capital of Switzerland, and we're going to fly over to Mannheim for around about a 1-hour flight exploring our new private jet. Now, I would like to thank OPEX very much for giving me a review copy of the Bern scenery, which is looking really good and which we're going to have a quick look at before getting into our aircraft. Now, at the time I'm recording this, the scenery is currently available on sale for about €8 or $9. Be sure to check it out, as it really is an awesome scenery they have designed at a very competitive price. Now, this is the passenger terminal, looking, again, really well modeled and with a lot of nice details. Luckily for us today though, we don't have to bother too much with the terminal, as we are gonna fly private today. The airport itself is capable of taking smaller airliners such as the Embraer 170 or 190, the ATR 72 and all these kind of aircraft. Now, enough looking around, let's head outside, if only we could actually find a door somewhere, that is. I think that one over here is one. Alright, so let's head outside and head over to our lovely aircraft, which is going to be the Cirrus Vision Jet that we already see just over there. That guy seems to appreciate it as well. Well, Flex Jet, yeah my friend, you're about to witness a real aircraft. Alright, so the policemen seem to be busy, then let's quickly sneak by and head over to our aircraft. Lovely little apron and awesome terrain around the airport, as you can see over here, making for some really great approaches into Bern Airport, provided that the weather is good, which these days is not exactly granted. But hey, it's winter time, and after all, Bern is located right within the Alps. You could see the elevation 510 meters, that's some 1,400, 1,500 feet-ish. Lovely model of the tower as well, including the stairwell getting up there. Today though, I'm sure that you are already like, Emmanuel, yeah, I didn't come here to see an airport. But nonetheless, I thought it is a really good looking one, so it was certainly worth showing it to you. If you're interested, grab it via the link in the video description below, and well, they do always say that would give me a good commission, but no, it doesn't, it's just for the statistics. I'm not getting any money for showing this. Alright then, we made it all the way to our Vision Jet. Looks like the ramp agent is already here, and we can quickly start to prepare the aircraft. So we're gonna start with a couple of basics over here. First of all, let's go ahead and grab the pitot covers that we can find over here. Let's remove the engine covers and make sure that the chocks are removed as well, provided we can get close enough to them. And here we are. Sometimes I do seem to need to get a little bit very close to the aircraft in order to be able to remove those chocks. In any case, a very nice visual model and a really good looking, let's just call it, not so standard jet. Single engine, so you can fly it with your single engine rating. Of course the type rating is necessary, you can't just step into it, but nonetheless, contrary to what many people seem not to know, you can fly an aircraft like this with a private pilot license, provided you have the necessary type rating. Alright, let's head right into it and get ready for our flight today. So first of all, we are gonna remove the caps pins and the emergency exit.
Meters.
So the door is closed, and with that we are ready to set our airplane up. I'm using a checklist of flightsim.to, so be sure to check that out if you are looking for good procedures. And that checklist for completeness here is designed by Obi-Wan. I do like that username. Alright, pre-flight checklist. Pre-flight inspection complete, the door is latched, and the parking brake located just down here. A little bit hard to see actually, easiest to operate it using the shift and spacebar commands. Did I say shift? Meant space, of course. So space plus spacebar is the easiest way to operate this. You can see click spot is there, but a little bit offset, so makes it a little hard to use. Okay then, so battery 1 and 2 on. Typical Cirrus design. We can find the switches all in front of the Garmin over here, and then generator number 1 and 2 on. External power unit is not there, and FADEC power is checked. Channel B is in use today, as we last flew on channel A. Alright, pre-flight checklist complete. Then, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and get the aircraft started up, since we don't have an external power unit available today. So before engine start checklist, and you will be surprised how easy it is to actually start this airplane up. It looks a bit like a car, and believe me, it's just as easy to fly. Alright, so strobe light on. CAS messages checked. And that is all right down here. Thrust lever, idle. Brakes hold, engine knob run. Then CAS advisory, check fuel pump on. And check engine start battery temperature not displayed. Engine start volt CAS message also not displayed. Alright, engine start stop knob press. And here we go. Engine start is in progress, fully automatic. And here we go. Alright, engine start is complete. Then, electronic instrument systems, check normal, engine ice protection system off, ECS control panel. We'll give temperature control to our guests in the back. And it is set to auto with the temperature set to something nice and warm. Okay, external ground power is disconnected, oxygen master switch on. That's located just over here. Alright, avionic initialization complete, so let's give it a go. We'll start down here, initial fuel, and we can simply synchronize it and confirm it. Then, empty weight and balance is set. Aircraft loading, we have a pilot at 170 pounds, and then we also have a co-pilot at 170 pounds. And we do have one passenger at 170 pounds as well. Fuel, taxi out, we'll make it 2 gallons here. And that's all we need. And fuel reserves are going to be 30 gallons, I hope. Alright, now for the flight plan. We're going to depart LSZB, Bam Belp, and our destination is going to be Echo Delta Foxtrot Mike. So, procedure, departure. Let's bring out our flight plan over here. Simbrief dispatch, and here we go. So, Merox 3 Bravo departure. Here it is, and the transition to Whiskey India Lima, Wilsau. And we can load that one in. Then from Wilsau we proceed direct Deton. Thereafter direct Titix. Direct Nator. And then via November 850 towards Renex. Alright, load that airway. And last but not least, for the arrival, we do plan on flying the Arnav approach runway 27 out of VNEX today. Load, and that's it. For our VNAV profile, for the climb 165 knots to Mach point 37, and that's all we have today. Cruise schedule maximum, descent schedule is all checked, and with that our profile is checked as well. So, complete the flight plan initialization please, accept that, and here we are. Performance, takeoff data. So, bound runway 32, and we can just keep that all in. Speed box, let's turn on the rotation speed at 85 knots. And that's it. So, then we can go over to the Navigraph charts, or we can just make our lives easy. So, we want a full screen please, and our weight and balance is in limits, perfect. Well then, let's go down here onto the Navigraph charts, which we can display on our G5000. And then let's go for the departure charts, Mailbox 1 Bravo, and you can show me that one in large please. So let's go ahead and cross-check our flight plan. Runway 32, straight out to 5,000 feet, which we have in here. And then a right-hand turn inbound to Mailbox above 6,000 feet, maximum 180 knots. We will not exceed that limit anyway. Well, and thereafter we continue to Wilsau. That is all checked. Perfect then. So the initial climb clearance on this one brings us up to 5,000 feet. Autopilot panel is down here. And 5,000 feet are set in. Alright, last but not least, let's get the latest weather. And here it is, bound Belp, weather. So QNH 1021. Here we go. Alright. So that's everything entered. Then let's continue with the checklist. Caps pins removed and stowed. Passengers briefed, seatbelt secured, and bleed air after 2 minutes. Those are passed. On. And that's our before engine start checklist completed. So let's continue with the before taxi checklist. So, comm radios set. So that's going to be 122.8, active number 1, and 121.5 in number 2. Squawk 2000 and standby for, well, on for the time being. Okay, so comm radio set, nav GPS, we're departing on GPS and that's selected, ATIS obtained, clearance obtained, altimeter set, transponder, well, 2000 set. Okay, heading back. Onto the runway heading, please. Here we go, runway heading. Flight controls. Checked free. Engine ice protection system is off the trim. Six units up. Flaps. At 50%. Electric roll trim is checked. Toga button is pressed and checked. So, CAS messages checked, seats upright. So then, let's go. Park and brake is released. And last but not least, the brake check, and then we are ready to go. So let's make our life easy and get the airport shot out for our taxi. So we're standing up here on the main apron, and our taxi is easily going to lead us via Kilo to Foxtrot, and then we can depart from intersection Foxtrot runway 32. 1,730 meters of runway on the full length. We have a little bit less from the intersection, but that is completely fine. Okay, ready to go. Then, brakes released. Let's turn on the lights, and we can start our taxi. So, maximum wingspan 21.5 meters, that shall not be much of a problem. And here we are. Beautiful little apron, lots of general aviation traffic over here, but the capability for airliners is there as well. Oh, whoopsie. So, for some reason that I'm not exactly sure of, whenever I'm increasing my thrust past idle, we do get the takeoff emergency battery CAS message, but it goes off shortly thereafter again, so I'm kinda happy to take off with that message in place still. Alright, let's hold short over here. Again, lovely look at the hangars. It's a very immersive airport if you ask me, it really is. Alright, B4 takeoff checklist. Departure briefing complete. So it's going to be a left seat takeoff. Runway 32, flaps 50%, rotated 85 knots, and for the initial climb, 5 degrees pitch. Let it accelerate until 165 knots. Retract the flaps at about 120 knots if I'm not mistaken. 115 actually. And when clear of any obstacles. In case of engine failure, it's a rather congested area, so then we'll just have to come up with a plan and see wherever we can go, since we only have that single one engine. Alright, and that's our departure briefing completed. So, landing lights on. They're on already. ProArt on. Engine ice protection system off. Wing and stabilizer ice protection system off. CAS checked. Trims verified at 6 units up. Flaps verified 50%. CAS, no takeoff emergency battery message showing B4 takeoff checklist complete. Alright, so with that we are ready to go. So, transponder, alt on. And then PFD split, and we'll go for the map over here and the charts over here. Perfect. So, line up and take off.
Approaching 3, 2.
That's intentionally. Clear left side and clear right side. Gotta love the small remains of snow that we see everywhere here. Gives it a very immersive
On
look.
runway 3, 2.
And that's fully intentional. Okay. Timing and takeoff. Power set. $60 knots. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Okay then, 5 degrees pitch. Flaps up. Climbing nicely, accelerating nicely. What else could you wish for? So, nav and level change. So, auto thrust on. So, reaching 165 knots. Wonderful. Alright then, climb flight level 150. Set. And checked. Out of 5,000 we'll start the right hand turn, and engine anti-ice on please. So, reaching 5,000, off we go to the right. really enjoy to fly this thing manually. I think it's a great looking cockpit. It has a lot of those... I don't know, for me it has a lot of sports car vibes. But it's really just a pleasure to hand fly. Okay, power is reduced to climb. Set standard. Standard check, passing level 6.5. Now. Checked. Okay, so auto throttle is, or rather should be on. Let's put it on autopilot. And here we go, autopilot, auto thrust, and climb thrust is selected. Perfect. Alright, let's actually put it onto the correct departure chart, that certainly helps. For a moment I was wondering why we were going off track, but it was rather obvious in the end. Okay, so now that we're in the air, we can set our altitude up to flight level 300, which is going to be our cruising altitude, and which is also the maximum altitude that the Vision Jet can fly at. And here we go, level 300 set. So, cabin pressurization, climbing at 500 feet a minute, differential pressure is building. The engine itself is also looking good, everything is in the green. And since we're basically in Mountain Mailbox, we can get rid of that departure chart over here. So let's go to the full screen, and then we only have the nav map on the right hand side. So, passing 10,000, climb checklist please. Thrust levers MCT, engine parameters monitored, cabin pressure monitored, ice protection. Well, I tend to say we are basically clear of any icing, so engine anti-ice off. Is as needed, altimeter standard, climb checklist complete. And that's about as easy as it gets. So, things are getting a little bit more relaxed now. Let's use a bit of our time in the climb to cross-check our aircraft systems, which we can do down here. Let's halve that display, and on the right hand side we already have our system controls up. So, aircraft status, all of that is easily checked over here. Then engine and fuel, we have basically half tanks. What I really like up here is that it tells you immediately your remaining endurance and your range resulting out of that endurance. However, I do think that that is directly reliant on the current thrust. So once we're up in cruise and we are reducing our thrust, the range would actually increase. Electrical power, everything green. Environmental and pressure is also all good. Temperatures inside 25 degrees, very nice. Ice protection is checked, and landing gear is looking normal. Landing field elevation, that will come from the FMS for field elevation over in Mannheim City Airport. Alright, and that's it. That's really all there is to it. So let's bring the nav display back onto the full screen. And since we have already climbed above the immediate airspace around Zurich, let's take a shortcut direct to Nator. So, flight plan, Nator, direct, and activate. Well, my friends, and that's it for our departure. For now, let's enjoy the flight, and I see you all as we're getting closer to our destination airport. You know that sentence by me from now. approaching 10,000 and we can already continue our descent a little bit lower in preparation for our approach. Now VNAV should recapture any moment here, but it doesn't, so let's use vertical speed and recapture that flight path. So let's take a small moment to have a look at the current weather conditions at our destination airport, Mannheim. And we currently have scattered clouds in 2900, temperature of 3 degrees, QNH 1020. And we can already go ahead and set that, please. So let's find our arrival charts, and I am going to use my PFD for that, so that we can keep the nav display for our primary navigation. Talking about navigation, let's take a quick shortcut over here, direct to Foxtrot Mike 002. So direct to activate. And here we go, rate of descent should be sufficient at about 1,400 feet a minute. And then let's spend a small moment looking at our destination airport. So chart selection, Mannheim City, approach, ANAF runway 27, that's what we are gonna fly today. If we check our flight plan, we can see that from Fox Mike 002 we proceed to waypoint 01 and then onto Epoma, which is the final approach point. 3.7 degree glide slope, so a little bit steeper than what we're used to. And that leads us right down to the runway. Now the minimum for a Cat Bravo aircraft is going to be 1060. Which we have in here, and last but not least we can set some speed bugs. So VX 91 knots, and that's pretty much what we are going to fly on the approach as well. Well, and that is our descent procedure already completed. So let's slow that rate of descent down a bit, 900 feet a minute. That way we can stay above the clouds for a little bit longer. And well, then we can read the descent checklist, please. Landing field elevation, 304, checked. QNH destination, 1020, minimums, 1060, altimeter, set local, landing lights on, descent checklist complete. Right, we're approaching the clouds, the temperature is currently -9, so engine anti-ice on. 1000 to go, we will level the aircraft off in 5000, and then when we reach Epoma, we are going to continue our descent. I'll keep the speed at 250 since we're flying an IMC at the moment. Should we get below the clouds, I would start to reduce our airspeed though, so that we can see and avoid the other traffic a little bit better. But the way it looks to me, we are probably going to be right within the clouds in 5000, which is a little bit unfortunate because the approach to Mannheim is a really beautiful one. But flying IFR, we're not here for the beautiful look outside, are we? Okay, alt capture 5000 and altitude. So 250 seems a little bit fast to me. Let's go manual speed control, 240 knots. We don't want to fly it right into the overspeed, do we? Okay, perfect. So the autopilot is doing a pretty good job over here, and vertical track is checked. Okay, absolutely beautiful look outside. But now let's go ahead and enjoy the aircraft manually for a bit. So, automatics off. You can really feel the speed. The aircraft is very prone to reacting to my stick inputs here. But I have to say it feels really enjoyable flying this. Yep, maintaining those 5,000 please. So once the glide starts to come in, I will start reducing our speed. But until then, full speed ahead. Right, approach mode is armed. We have FMS navigation, glide path armed. It really feels a bit bumpy inside those clouds. I have to say Microsoft modeled that well. We are flying very fast through the clouds right now for an aircraft of this size. And it really feels like that. So, glide path alive. Let's reduce the speed. Okay, 180 knots looks good. And I might have been a little bit quick with glide path alive. It did turn from half to solid, that diamond, but looks like it's not coming in just yet. But then again, we are reaching the final approach fix just about in 0.4 miles, and now the glide is coming in. So, speed 180 as we intercept the vertical. Glide path capture, go around altitude 5000 set. Alright, the aircraft is nicely in trim. 10 miles final. Very good airspeed. I like that. And I really love the beautiful look outside. So, runway heading is now set as well. Then let's go back into FMS speed control, which should theoretically come down now. On that case, we'll do manual here. We'll just set it all the way down to like 95 knots already, which will be our final approach speed. Here we go. Okay, I think I can see the runway just over there. Nice 20 knot headwind, making it rather easy for us to slow down once we need to. I'll start slowing the aircraft down when we reach 6 miles, so rather now. So idle power, And we're slowing down nicely. Once we're below 150, we can set the flaps to 50%. Look at the beautiful terrain outside. Absolutely gotta love it. Okay, flaps 50. Below 140, landing gear down. And flaps 100. Okay. Now look at that. And with that, I don't mean look at me messing up the approach. Just kidding, of course. Landing checklist. Landing it down. Flaps 100. Cabin pressure 0 psi differential. Windshield anti-ice off, and engine anti-ice is also going off again. Okay, airspeed 97 knots is looking good. Landing lights on, landing checklist completed. So let's just go ahead and actually set that speed to 97, like this. Approaching minimum, checked.
Minimums.
Continue.
Approaching 27.
Checked. Absolutely beautiful graphics here. Checked. So it looks like we have a small mismatch between the puppies and the glide slope. But the glide slope actually looks rather good to me right now, so I will just continue on the glide. I gotta say that the glide path from the avionics is really doing an awesome job. It gets us right where we gotta go. Ooh, a little bit of turbulence here. So, idle. Fly it right down.
Long landing. Long landing.
Relax. RAS is made for airliners. We certainly noticed that. See? Easy going. Alright, vacating to the left. And with that, my friends, welcome to Mannheim. Let's stop that timer. 53 minutes in the air. And then after landing checklist. Flaps. Up, wing ice protection system off. Stabilizer ice protection off, engine ice protection off, ProArt off, landing lights, we'll keep it on while we are taxiing, and the brakes are checked after landing checklist complete. So let's taxi all the way back, then we got a cross runway 2709, and then we can taxi straight to the apron. I gotta say, Mannheim is really beautiful scenery. I can't overemphasize how much I like this one, and it is available totally for free on flightsim.to. I really do like this. And I gotta say, the 20 knots taxi speed that we are going at right now really feel a lot faster. Okay, we're clear on the approach, which is straight ahead, and then we can cross the runway right over here.
Approaching 27.
Intentionally.
Approaching 27. Center.
Yep, we're clear of that. Alright, we'll go all the way to the main apron, we'll park the aircraft over there, and in the meantime, let's already give a little bit of feedback on the default Cirrus Vision Jet in Flight Simulator 2024. The avionics are superb, unsurprisingly, since they come from working title. And the rest of the aircraft really matches the avionics. Now, there really aren't too many systems on the Vision Jet, so there is not all that much that you could have done wrong, but I like the flight dynamics, I do like them indeed, and in general the aircraft has a very charming feel to it. I do like the fact that they've added not only the pitot covers on the chocks to remove, but also things like the caps covers, which is something that every Cirrus pilot will be well familiar with. So overall, it is a really immersive aircraft that is a lot of fun to fly. I like the flight dynamics, even though I've never flown a Vision Jet or a single-engine jet airliner at all. But nonetheless, I have to say, this is an aircraft that I surely do enjoy. So the parking brakes are set, then let's read the shutdown checklist. Thrust idle and allow engine to idle for 2 minutes minimum prior to shutdown for hot section component temperatures to equalize. We've had those. Parking brake set, engine ice protection system is off, bleed air off, oxygen master off, lights off, engine knob off, start stop button press. Alright, and that's the engine running down. So waiting for the engine to finish shutting down, which is more or less now, and then temperature controllers back to the front. Alright, generators 1 and 2 off, batteries 1 and 2 off, and with that, welcome to Mannheim. Now, let's go ahead and open that door, and that's going to be the conclusion of our flight. I sure hope you enjoyed this one. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments below. If you've already flown the Vision Jet, let me know how you like it, be it in the real world or in the simulation. Thank you so much for flying along. I hope you all enjoyed this one. Leave your feedback in the comments below, and if you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and see you all again on the next one.